Welcome to the Learning Center series. My name is Aurelio, and my participation in this very wonderful project here is with sound therapy, sound discovery path, and I would like to share about my journey and my connection to the island retreat. My involvement here is with two features. It's the sound discovery path, which is a very unique way of being with sound and enhancing awareness of nature. And then the SEDA, which is a specifically created, co-created and designed space for sound healing and music therapy. I've been living over the my origin is in Austria. I have been born near Vienna, and I've been living in South India, in Auroville, which is an international utopian community project supported by UNESCO. And I've been working there with young indigenous craft people on the development of new instruments which are based on the research in ancient music of the Vedic age. And so I've been step by step over the last 15 years developing first the features of the sound healing modality, the instruments which are tuned according to mathematical principles of music. Through those universal principles, we bring out the building blocks of music and can actually apply them universally, not cultural specific and conditioned by any different culture. Because the building blocks of tone, pulse and rhythm and frequencies apply to each one of us, independent of our background. So the SEDA houses an instrument configuration which we call sonorium, because it's based actually on ancient studies of the Greek culture with music and mathematics. And it brings together 14 instruments, all centered around the sound healing bed, which offers a vibroacoustic experience because there are 50 tuned strings on which the client actually finds rest and has the direct touch of sound. Additionally, in this space, we have plate bells and tubular bells and various instruments of different materials and different sound textures, with the idea that each one of them touches a different layer and a different part of our being. I'm personally very happy about this collaboration with the Turkish craftsman and the architect of the project, who created a very specifically and calculated, aesthetically designed space for the sonorium, which enhances the acoustics and the experience for the client in a beautifully set interior space, which is very much uplifting out of its pyramidal structure. The sound discovery path followed basically my explorations with outdoor installations of music and of sound. It has, at this moment, it has 9 instrument installations which lead step by step into the realm and into the magic of music through an active interplay with the instruments, but one can also perceive them receptively, passively, while other people play, and one can really get the beautiful exposure of the vibrations of those large instrument sources directly on the body. The whole idea of the sound discovery path is that we walk through this beautiful original vegetation, and through the play and activity with the instrument, that our awareness, our sensory awareness and our attention is sharpened to the sounds of the environment. So we have a sound which relates to the sound of the waves. There is a wind chime, a large oversized wind chime, which calls our attention to the sound of the birds and the rustling of the leaves. There has been such a beautiful effort of restoring the biodiversity of the island, and all the sound experience that should bring an element of surprise, of awe and of wonder and of discovery, so that the attention of the visitor is also sharpened to the different hues of the greenery, to the shapes and structure and texture of the leaves. There is a specific description available because from step by step the experience of natural sounds unfolds. There is a tonalophone which actually puts our attentions on the different tunings in nature. We listen to the different frequencies in nature. There's a sound circle in which we can stand and listen to the directional sound and feel the vibrations of the different tonal structures. Very unique is the singing stone and the lithophone. We actually brought from South India some black granite, which can be played like a xylophone for everybody, and a bit more difficult, but a beautiful, extraordinary experience is working with the sound stone, which needs a little bit of water, and then we just stroke over the stone, and again with the possibility of feeling the vibration into our hands, into our body. The work with sound is gaining popularity all over the world, and in many occasions people work with Himalayan singing bowls or gongs. We are fortunate to have on the island instruments which are not very common because they were just recently developed, and find here in JOALI Being one of their first worldwide exposure. And the application of sound in healing is basically, the first step is that it evokes a relaxation response. That people from an active, involved activity basically slow down, and the sensory perception of sound allows that we can go into an inner perception. What that does basically in the autonomous nervous system, we shift from a sympathetic reaction to what is happening and what is catching our alertness into a parasympathetic reaction of feeling safe, with the possibility of relaxing, stepping back, and being in a space of deepening awareness. That consequently brings in a healthy vagus nerve tonus, which coordinates the natural inherent state of the organs without an interference of the mind and those things which happen in our thoughts and if we are distracted. The vagus nerve basically is really taking care of a balanced physical state. Sound helps in our awareness that it offers a sensory perception which occupies the brain and focuses the brain on the moment, on a momentary awareness. And in that way, it's actually also one of the easiest way into a deepening attention and a pathway into meditation. So we offer different qualities of sound in the SEDA. There's a very deep plate bell which brings a deep grounding and offers the solidity in the physical system. There's another instrument which we call sound wing, which uplifts the spirit and creates a vortex movement in the space and brings the feeling of lightness. We have a polarity of tuned instruments and primal elemental sounds of, for instance, of the storm sound, which can shake up structures which are not helpful anymore, thought structures, emotional structures. And often with those elemental sounds of the storm sound, clients come into an experience possibly of memories of emotional traumas, and memories come up from unfavorable circumstances, and the possibility is to integrate those experiences through the tuned sounds into a harmonization. The benefits from a sound healing session go into all the different layers of the being. There are physiological benefits with slowing the heart rate, calming the nervous system, as I mentioned already, psychological benefits. People who went through emotional problems and storms, they can process them, they come in contact with them, and with the help of the practitioner, integrate them. It can also open inspirational, imaginative spaces and bring an upliftment of the whole spirit of the people who come into it. An experience actually not only works in the direction of relaxation, it also can help to energize the system. If people come in and they feel very low and overburdened, through the combination of the different sounds, it can really bring an energizing, uplifting experience. Often, quite some people actually have that experience of the dissolving the limitations and the boundaries of the body, and in contrast to the grounding movement of gravitation, they can experience something of a levitation, a lightness in the system, and freeing oneself from the limitations of the purely physical material body. Often younger people and children have even an out-of-body experience, and an experience like this, when it is nicely harnessed and grounded back into the system, can really stay with somebody over a long period. I was actually very surprised and pleased to hear about the main theme of JOALI, finding the joy of weightlessness, because I could use that actually specifically for the SEDA. I think that's what the possibility actually of experiencing the material body and the life energy surging through the material body, and the freedom and independence of a relaxed mind. And all together actually, it often offers to clients the very surprising experience of almost dissolving from our known environment, and yes, in its true sense, experiencing the joy of weightlessness. We are actually very happy that here in JOALI Being, it is a continuing journey of discovery. The research of the work is continuing, and we are hoping actually possibly to bring a few more installations into the sound discovery path, and also intensify and deepen the training with the therapists so that they can offer all the visitors and clients who are coming a really wholesome and inspiring experience. I hope that you could enjoy listening to the Learning Center program, and some exposure, some aspects of the growing work with sound